Hello everyone, this is your Fantasy Draft Girl Kay with our first episode of our very own NFL Draft series. As the college football season is getting close to the end of the season, we wanted to start talking about some of the top NFL draft hopefuls for this season. Some players will eventually have fantasy value, but this is just to talk about the top players at each position going into the NFL college draft. But this is an early look at who we feel are players worth mentioning. In this episode, I will be covering some of the college's sleeper wide receivers and the FBS conferences. Wide receivers that we feel will go in the late rounds or be undrafted free agents. In any NFL draft year, there are roughly about 1,200 draft eligible players who are actually scouted for their potential to be an NFL player. Of those 1,200 players, over 150 to 175 or so draft eligible wide receivers are examined under a microscope and given a draft grade. Of those 175 or so wide receivers, only an average of about 40 get invited to the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. Then only an average of about 30 or so get drafted into the 7-round NFL draft. Then, after the draft, on average, about 75 to 90 get offered free agent contracts or just invited to rookie camps unsigned as tryout players. Then, of those 90 undrafted and tryout players, only about 4 or 5 make an opening day active roster on one of the 32 teams. So, who could be this year's? Victor Cruz, Wes Welker, Adam Thielen, or Rod Smith? In no particular order, here are 5 late-round undrafted wide receiver sleepers in the FBS. It is very early in the pre-draft process for these players, so a lot can change. From the University of Kentucky, there is a 5'10", 190-pound Tavion Robinson, who was a transfer from Virginia Tech. Before transferring, he was a top punt returner at Virginia Tech. He led Virginia Tech in receptions his junior year. He has above average speed, who excels on gaining yards after the catch. He is a shifty receiver that understands how to get in and out of breaks. However, he doesn't show elite speed needed for the NFL. He can easily be bumped off his routes and not very physical. He can sometimes disappear in games. He is a bit small and projects to be a slot wide receiver. We project him to be a 7th round pick at the highest and likely a priority free agent. Next, we have wide receiver Xavier Weaver from the University of Colorado. He is a 6'1", 180-pound transfer from South Florida. He was a second team All-AAC while at South Florida. He was a top punt returner, 4th all-time career receiving yards at South Florida with 1,735. He had a big game against Stanford this year with 7 catches and 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. He is a legit deep threat who can gain solid yards after the catch. He's a smart and skilled route runner. He has good quickness and he exudes confidence. He may be seen as a bit thin for NFL standards, but he does have some good hands. However, sometimes makes an easy catch look more difficult than exciting. He's also projected to go in the 6th or 7th round at best, likely a priority free agent. From Louisiana Tech, there's a 5'7", 180-pound Smoke Harris. He was a first-time All-Conference USA selection with high production. Excellent return specialist, both punt and kick return. Shifty, hard to tackle, and very slippery. Once he gets out in the open space, he's hard to track down. He's an all-purpose receiver. He's only 5'7", and that's being generous. His confidence is bigger than he is. He's likely a priority free agent, but he's a game changer as a return specialist, and that's key to his draft stock rising. Out of Tulane University, we have Lawrence Keys III. He is 5'10" and 170 pounds. a 3-sport star out of high school, a transfer from Notre Dame. He's also a top kick returner. He's a versatile receiver with good quickness, excellent yards after catch, possibly a legit 4.4 speed. He understands proper route running, can make the hard catch with good body control on deep routes. He can be more than just a slot receiver as his size suggests. Takes running blocks seriously. Unfortunately, he is very slim and will need to bulk up. He looks to be a lock as a priority free agent. My producer is also from Hawaii and is a University of Hawaii alumni. So he made it a point to showcase this next player. Finally, in this group, we have Stephen McBride from the University of Hawaii. McBride is a transfer from Kansas University. He is 6'1" and 170 pounds. So far in the Hawaii run and shoot offense, he has gotten solid production. He already surpassed his 3 seasons worth of production at Kansas in just this one season. He is a legit deep threat with adequate speed. He has a skinny frame, but is physical. He can get up to catch the ball. He can literally jump out of the stadium. He is one of Hawaii's top receivers. He attacks a defensive back and creates good separation. He has good hands and catches the ball away from his body. However, he plays in the Hawaii run and shoot, which does inflate receiver production. He needs to sharpen his route running skills in intermediate and short level routes. He is targeted to just be a priority free agent at best. Well, that wraps up this episode of our Fantasy Draft Girl NFL Draft Prospect series. Stay tuned as I cover more NFL draft prospects in the near future. If you want to see more of me and more of my reviews, please support us by clicking like and smashing that subscribe button. Keep watching Fantasy Draft Girls, where you're guaranteed to score. This is Fantasy Draft Girl K, signing off.